Mine now work now.
Are we on time? Oh, we're live. We're live. I was like, wait, what?
I just like to make you freak out a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
It was good, right?
Because I need that.
It was good. I don't know. None of these things are working over here, so we'll just see how it goes. Oh, I do see a Facebook thumbs up. So
Yeah.
Facebook's in the house. Hey, y'all. I bring to you my super special secret guest, and I have a confession. I'm going to die a little.
That's not for the
First, hold on. I choked on my own spit.
Okay.
I called Steph and Brienne today, and I was like, hey, who's down for car cake? Because we haven't had car cake in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Steph's like, I could eat cake. I can eat cake. Bree's got other things going on. Bree may or may not show up. It's totally fine. And I get here, and Steph goes, do you want to do it in the barn? I was like, oh, I was not prepared for this much light on my face or to eat in front of everyone in so much light. But here we are.
Yeah.
Welcome to Timeout Tuesday, the upgraded car cake edition with Stephanie at the Denman Homestead, who wore the best shirt ever. How exciting is that?
It's the comfiest shirt. Very soft.
I love those shirts.
Yeah.
So, happy Timeout Tuesday. Tonight, we are drinking red wine.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that I swung by H-E-B, which is one of our grocery stores. It's a tiny one in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And they had 3 bottles of wine to choose from. And the one that struck me the most was one called 19 Crimes. It's cheers.
Yeah. Cheers for us getting pulled over and on our trip.
You did?
Yes. Did I not tell you about that?
No. Cheers to Timeout Tuesday. This is going to be good. Let's get into the tea.
Yeah.
Okay. While you're doing that, I did buy cake. I bought cheesecake, which happens to be Steph's favorite. I like the variety pack. I also know that I've seen her and Buddy make a pecan pie before, and
Also my favorite pie.
yeah. So we are going to carb out
Mm-hmm.
while Steph tells us all of the tea from her trip. So wait a minute, you got pulled over? Wait, Buddy was going first.
No, Buddy got pulled over. I was going first. Let me just rewind.
Yeah, tell me all the things.
I don't know how much time you guys have. How long are we gonna be here till?
We have time. We have time. Nothing but time. My child is 21 and taking care of himself, and your children are right out back. So
My children's ears are bleeding. We'll get to that next.
Steph's really rough. It was car cake is necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, what you got?
Yeah. Just as a side note, my children are okay. Caden's ears are bleeding, but we'll get to that story in a little bit.
He's fine. He'll be fine. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, we'll work it out. Back to when we got pulled over. Well, Buddy got pulled over. I was driving the rental truck that we packed.
I'm gonna be cleaning up the barn after this event too.
No, did you see the floors? I haven't touched it since we've all left the other day.
It's clean. It's still good.
No. Anyway, so Buddy and I head out to North Carolina. For those of you that are new to what Buddy and I did, we put together this fundraiser thing where we raised some money and some donations, and we packed this moving truck and we took it to North Carolina on this whirlwind adventure mission. I called it a mission trip because it truly was a mission.
It was a mission trip.
Yeah. To take it to a location in North Carolina that was hit really bad with the Hurricane Helene, and we'll get to that in a minute. But to get there, Buddy was driving the RV and I was driving the moving truck, and we were kind of following each other, like just staying caravanning. And then when we entered Mississippi, I was in front and he was following me, and I was driving, and we're on the highway. It's 10:30ish in the morning. And I see these like blue, something in the side view mirrors are like blue. And so it caught my attention. And there's a cop behind Buddy with his lights on. But you never know, like, is that cop truly pulling you over, or is he just waiting to like get in the other lane and pass and go around? But it ended up being where it was like just Buddy and I on the road, and he was not leaving from behind Buddy. So I was like, okay, why isn't Buddy pulling over? I was waiting for Buddy to pull over. He wasn't pulling over. So I was like, okay, well, I'll pull over. And then Buddy will pull over behind me. So I pulled over on the highway on the shoulder.
Did he not see it?
No, didn't see the cop, right? He's just focused on me. And we don't, in the RV and in the rental truck, you have like a little mirror,
Yeah.
but it points to nothing.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Which is why I was so worried about you. But keep going, you know.
Yeah. So all you have is your side view mirrors, but Buddy's just looking at me. He's not looking at the police officer. So when we pull over, he jumps out of the RV, which you're not supposed to do when you're getting
Oh
pulled
my
over.
God. Who taught Buddy the pullover etiquette?
He thought something was wrong with me. So he jumps out of the car and I'm like, we've been here before.
Yeah. Buddy's
Yeah, so
God.
I'm double panicking, and Buddy jumps out of the car. He's coming to me on the highway, and I'm rolling down my window, and he's like, "Well, what happened? You have, And he's like, and I was like, "You have a cop pulling you over." Like what? And he turns to look, and this cop, full vest, is like, "Sir,
No.
sir, stop right there!" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like, here we go again. Like, what is happening? And Buddy's like, I was being pulled over. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So Buddy walks to the cop who's got his hand on
I
his
bet he does.
hip. And then they disappeared. So
Like together.
And I recorded it on my phone because I was like, here
we go again.
As I did before, I had to record it. Couldn't see him. I was like, do I get out of my vehicle now? Do I go rescue him? No, I'm just going to sit and wait. Surely something,
Surely Buddy's telling him, like, I was following my wife.
Yeah.
I'm not transporting human beings in this trip, like, whatever.
But also, like, why were we the car that I was in was GPS, like, regulated and, like, you can't go over, like, 70 miles an hour.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I knew I wasn't speeding. I knew it because
it doesn't let you.
And it doesn't let me, and he was behind me. So I was like, we can't go that fast in these cars. So what was the deal? Anyway, it felt like an eternity. Buddy comes back to my side of the window forever after, and he said that he was being pulled over for a fatigue check.
So was he swerving?
The cop said that he noticed that the back left tire went over the white line. Went over one of the white lines.
Oh, he definitely thought y'all were transporting like people.
I don't know, but
they call it what you want to, but there's some.
We're in Mississippi at 10:40 in the morning.
That's what I mean. Like, nobody's pulling anybody over in an RV for a fatigue check. He wanted to know if you had bodies in there.
You think so?
But
he didn't search it.
We didn't have to. When everybody jumped out of the car and he realized, like,
who we were, maybe?
Probably. Ran your background and all the things. Like, gave him time.
Mm-hmm. He did have to run his license, but Buddy did tell him, like, he was like, where are you headed? What are you doing? You're coming from Texas. Why are you in Mississippi? And Buddy's like, well, me and my wife, that's my wife. And we're taking some steps to North Carolina. And then his whole demeanor changed.
I bet. Because that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Something changed in that scenario to make him realize that it wasn't. Because as I understand, that route that y'all took is like the number one trafficking path. Yes. So is 59 that runs right through here.
No way.
Lester and I watched a documentary on it. That 59 is number one human and drug trafficking path. From Texas on up to everywhere.
Wow.
And it's like the way that you go. So, like, I understand they're being cautious and they're looking at suspicious things. And an RV following a rental truck with one guy in the driver's seat probably does look a little like sus. That's kind of a family thing to drive an RV.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
Yeah. Somebody says, did he search the RV?
No searching. But he just said he ran his license and we were all clear. Thank God we were not wanted in any way, shape, or form. But
you'll have really bad luck with that whole like leave the state thing.
We do. Yeah. It's starting to make me wonder if we should just never ever go anywhere.
No, don't you dare stop going fun places. And
yeah, no, I won't. But yeah.
So that was on the way there.
I was on the way there.
Obviously, because you're apart. So how hard was it to drive that truck?
It wasn't hard because I'm used to the RV.
So you're used to having no rear view mirror to look at, because that for me is one of the hard, like, yes, I can drive it, but I use my mirrors a lot more than I realize.
Right.
When you drive things like that.
Yeah.
I was so nervous for Steph. I was like, you're really going to drive that? I'll fly you home. You guys drive together.
Yeah. No, but the worst part of that was that I got separated from Buddy in Atlanta.
Ooh.
in 5 o'clock rush hour traffic
Oh.
on Friday, and I got somehow downtown where the
Oh my God.
where the Falcons play. So here's what happened. After Mississippi, we ended up in Georgia, naturally, and we ended up in Atlanta. And just by happenstance, it had to be happened to be rush hour, and it said on my GPS, Buddy was behind me. Do you want to take the faster route? And I was like, yeah, I do.
Yes, I would love
please,
to.
get me out of here. So I said, yes, it'll save me 10 minutes.
No,
no,
that lies.
it lied.
Yeah.
Because there was 4 accidents on the highway somehow, of course. Because it's like,
I don't know what's worse, Atlanta or Houston, but they're both miserable traffic wise, like miserable.
So bad. So I was like, yeah, I'll take the faster route, 10 minutes. And it takes me literally like you get to those like downtown streets where it's like one way only and they're tiny and there's like people just running out from all sorts of angles and places. And so Buddy, I call him because I notice he doesn't follow me. And I'm like, where are you at? And he's like, did you take the faster route? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, that takes you, he looked at the route smartly. He looked at the route that I was going to take him. He's like, that's taking you into the city. And I was like, I do now.
I may not have known that at the time.
I know now. I'm right here by the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So,
Well,
anyway.
you got a tour of Atlanta.
I did. It's
not
gorgeous, minus the traffic. Yeah, the buildings are wonderful.
Yes, it's just really like that is a horrible time. Horrible. Yeah, do not recommend.
I think I got a contact high by the people next to me in traffic.
That's very likely.
Because it was blowing through my vents.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, we're having a party.
Lester thinks that I'm crazy. We'll be driving down the interstate and I'm like, that person in front of us smokes. And he's like, how can you tell? You can smell it.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever had that when you're driving down the interstate and you smell stuff? Like,
it could also just be a skunk, though. My neighbors were hot boxing. They were having,
yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, they were having a good time, Nick. Like, they were in traffic and they didn't even care. They were like, And I was like, okay, you do you. Is Georgia like a place where
I don't know.
Is it legal?
I don't know. Is it legal?
Not that anybody cares.
In Atlanta, in Georgia? I don't know the answer. It's not in Texas, but that doesn't stop people.
Someone just said, I am that vehicle. Well, it was nice to see you in Atlanta. Good for you, man.
Eat some cake.
Yeah.
Eat some cake on that note.
On that note, I want some cheesecake.
I figured that you did.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna eat it on a plate like a normal human being, huh?
I could be a savage if you want me to.
You can be a savage. This all belongs to you.
No.
It does. I'm gonna take a bite of this one right
You're
here.
just gonna go straight in the middle?
Yeah. It feels like the most appropriate thing to do.
Okay. I'll go in the middle too then. Get some of this turtle. Pretty sure this is what that is.
Yeah. Definitely good.
Yeah.
Bree's missing out.
Hopefully the Bree shows up. Oh, yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, I might have not made that and got it directly out of the freezer section at HEB.
It's okay. It's good. It
was necessary.
No, not legal in Georgia. Oops.
Whoopsie.
Nobody cares.
Maybe they didn't know where they were.
Yeah, they were lost. Like me.
Just a passerby. It's really fine.
I was in California. Oh no. So yeah,
But that was day 2, right? Because you left Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night we ended in Louisiana.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, it was like the other side of Louisiana too. So we spent 5 hours on the road. We ended in Louisiana. We thought we were going to be able to go to a rest stop. Rest stop was full.
Oh,
completely.
Really?
So then
with trucks and whatnot?
Yeah. So we slept at a gas station.
How was that?
It was fine. Yeah. Locked
It
up.
wasn't loud?
It was loud, yeah. But, I mean, we were tired. So it was after midnight. It was like almost 1 a.m. Passed out. Woke up at 6. Hit the road again. Got pulled over. Got high with Atlanta people.
Tonight, whenever I messaged Steph about coming to do car cake, she was like, do you want me to come to you? I'm like, you have lived in the car.
Yeah.
For like a week. Don't you just want to? I'll come to you. It'll be fine. She's like, I am one with the driver's seat.
I
It's
did
gonna
say
be fine.
that. Yeah, I was like, my body is now molded to the car seat. And so yeah, it was an adventure getting there.
Did you I know that you said that you like to listen to your books and stuff like that, like your audio books. Did you find yourself able to do that, or did you find yourself so like focused on driving that you couldn't?
Oh, I listen to all the true crime podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can pay attention to that.
Oh, yeah.
It's really weird that I have a hard time paying attention to talking things during that time. I can zone out to nothingness. I can have my own concert, but when it's things being like audiobooks or even podcast, I all of a sudden realize that I have no idea what just played. Like I can't
Really?
I don't know what's wrong with me. My mind just goes 5,000 places other than what's being told to me.
Yeah. When I get close to my destination, I turn the radio down so I can like.
So you can see.
But if I see I have 168 miles on that same road, then I'm like totally good to just zone out and drive and then just take it, just listen to whatever.
Yeah, it puts me to sleep to listen. If I actually pay attention and listen, I'm just like zone. But if I think, because my mind goes a million miles a minute, like I'm never going to sleep again. Like that's never happening.
No.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
So
a lot of people like true crime with you. I like true crime as well, but I can't do it when I'm driving for whatever reason. So before we go on to your journey, people just want to know how Caden is. A lot of people are joining asking how Caden is.
Sorry. So tomorrow, okay. So what happened was Thursday night before the night we left, we went to Caden's game in the RV and the rental truck. Me and Buddy went there. My mom took the dogs and the little kids home with her, and Buddy and I went to Caden's game, and we watched him play, and then we were going to leave after his game. We watched the game. He did good. I didn't see. I don't always like. Sometimes I get lost where the ball is, and like I get sidetracked. But I hugged him after the game. He was fine. He saw me. He was disappointed because they lost, but he was fine. Like so, he was going to go to his grandma's house. And then I get him yesterday. We got back yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I pick him up yesterday from school, and we get home. It's like 5:45 at night, and he's like, Mom, I just need to tell you that like while you were gone, I had blood in my ears and I can't hear anymore. And I was like, what? Like, okay, because when you have blood coming out of your, that's a big deal.
Kind of a thing.
We know that's.
Yeah, that's kind of blood actually does indicate and warrant like, let me check that out as to what's going on.
Exactly. No, he was just like, yeah, I took like 20 Q-tips to get like clear all this blood. And I was like, 20 Q-tips? Okay. First of all, we need to have a conversation. Like, you need to call me.
You should say something. You should say something.
At any time. And he's like, well, I just, And I was like, okay. He didn't want to bother me while I was gone, but he also didn't figure it out until Sunday morning. And he knew he was going to see me Monday. Right. So he was like, okay with waiting. So what happened was Saturday, he woke up and he had like pressure. And it was like weird. And then Sunday, he couldn't hear at all. So he got a Q-tip. He was like, well, maybe there's something in there. So he got a Q-tip and he was like, oh, look, blood. Oh, more blood. Blood? It's just blood. And then it stopped, but he just couldn't hear. And he had like a ringing, which hasn't gone away. So I was like, let's go to the minor ER today, okay? So I took him to the minor ER and he looked in there and he was like, yeah, I can't even see his eardrum because there's a blood clot in the way and his ear canal is super angry. So he asked Caden, like, when did you notice like discomfort? And Cade said, well, when I was playing my game on Thursday, the only thing I can think of is that I got hit in the side of the head, like a tackle. And the guy said, was it in the ear hole? Because they have like holes in the helmets. He said, yeah, it was in the ear hole of the helmet. So he's like, well, did you get dizzy or nauseated? Asking him all the concussion protocol things and did the eye check. And he was like, no, none of that. It's just on Saturdays when I felt the pressure building and then Sundays when I noticed I had blood. And he basically said, I think what it is scuba divers and like when you go in an airplane, you feel that pressure build and sometimes pop your ears. But when you have fast pressure, he even said, like in karate, sometimes they teach you how to like box someone's ears because it will like disorient them and it can like burst their eardrum. Basically, that's what happens, that the force of the pressure on his eardrum probably burst his eardrum or at least caused a hole. Yeah. and he can't get to the eardrum or even see the eardrum because there's a clot in the way.
Yeah.
So he said he needs to go see an ENT. So I called a bunch of different ENTs, which, what the heck? Like, I was like, hey, my son's ears are bleeding. Can I get him in? And they're like, we don't have anything in until next year. I'm like, what? My son's ears are bleeding.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have anything available. They called finally like the 10th one. They could get him in tomorrow because they had a cancellation. And I was like, yes, thank you. So tomorrow morning we're going, they're going to go look. But basically what they'll have to do is if it's a burst eardrum, they'll have to put like a patch.
Yeah.
So it can heal. But if it's a hole, sometimes it can just heal itself.
Yeah.
But basically we got to get behind that.
Yeah.
clot.
So the clot has to come out.
Yeah.
So is he having any pain?
No, the only thing is that he can't hear anything, which really bothers him, and a low ringing,
Yeah.
which is annoying.
Yeah.
But no pain,
That's good.
no pressure. It's just a ring, and he can't hear. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, oh, God, he's like so deaf right now. So it's truly, I even sent you a picture. I'm like, he's deaf if he didn't even bother putting his little ear pod in.
Hayden.
Yeah. Football's rough.
Football is rough. So
Yeah.
Caden's got that injury. Lex still is wearing a cast.
Mhm.
Football has not been good to this family this year.
Nope.
Good thing I never played.
I didn't want Caden to play football, but he had to play football if he wanted to run track. I told you the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he figured out in the 8th grade or the 7th grade that when he tried out for the track team, only the football kids were getting like positions in track because they played football and they had like favoritism. So then he was like, well, I guess I'll have to play football. And then he ended up loving football, which I never wanted him to play football, but now he loves it.
Yeah.
And now his ears are bleeding. You know? Like,
I'm sorry I'm laughing. I don't mean to laugh. It's just like it's just like it's the way of the delivery of just like one more thing.
yeah.
Like one more thing. Like what else? You know?
I mean,
You roll with it. It is football in Texas is like a whole different thing. Like
it's a religion.
yeah, it's not where I'm from. Basketball and baseball is life.
Yeah?
Like life. And our football stadiums are smaller than like your little soccer fields. Yeah, no joke.
I heard that Texas like high school stadiums are like
They're college style.
college level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when my family comes and visits and stuff, they're like, what college is that? I'm like, well, that's the New Caney High School. Like, it's very bizarre. Like, football is like college level here in high school. And it's so serious and everybody does it. And it's just like, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
So I understand why the kids want to do it because it's like it's a way of life here. It's a culture. It's what they do. It's not where I'm from at all.
Yeah.
No.
It's like the military too with the coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very serious.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for Caden. But how many more games does his season have?
2. This
Okay.
Thursday and the next. So
Okay.
it's almost over. But he did ask the guy, he said, can I play in my Thursday game? And he was like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from playing. As
You don't
long
have a
as
concussion.
you don't have a concussion, and there's, I mean, just after you sweat, just make sure you get a little bit of a gauze and wipe your ear canal. But he did give him some antibiotic drops
That's good.
just to make sure there's not an infection.
Yeah, because the fluid could get caught between that blood clot and sort of not be able to drain. That would be the one thing I would worry about.
Yeah. So,
But
you know.
but he feels okay, other
Yeah.
than the fact that he can't hear,
Yeah.
which he probably enjoys saying, "Huh?
Mhm.
What? Huh? I didn't hear you,"
Yeah.
and using the excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Such a man.
Such a boy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you have got to tell me when you.
Yeah.
There's kids like that will break their arms and be like 3 days later, this really hurts still, and they're like, oh well, it's broken. Like,
Yeah.
she
probably said something.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, prayers go out to Caden.
Yeah.
And for you for all the phone calls and things that you're having to chase around and do. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be fine. It's fine.
So back to North Carolina now.
Okay. Yeah. Back to North Carolina.
So we're in Atlanta
We're in Atlanta.
and you're getting a contact high downtown.
Yeah.
How do you get out of that scenario?
I just keep driving until I'm out of it. And meet up with Buddy. So he was like 20 minutes behind me because my 10-minute faster route ended up being 20 minutes faster than him. So I kind of still won in a sense, but we were 3 hours behind our projected.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So we were supposed to be in Morganton, North Carolina at my friend's house that evening before the sunset. But it ended up being that we weren't even out of Atlanta until it was already dark. So I knew to get from Georgia to North Carolina, we were going to have to go through all that destruction. And I didn't know exactly what the roads looked like.
Yeah.
And so we were like, you know what, so I texted my friend and she was like, okay, stop in South Carolina and then just drive in the morning
when it's light
and you can see. So that's what we did. We found a rest stop in South Carolina, stopped for the night. Kind of a funny story because Kim was following us on.
I was also following your
I know.
stuff.
I gave you and Kim our location so you could kind of stalk us and see where we were at. And Kim pulled up right as we were north of Atlanta, and we found this. I was starving. It was like 7:00, and I found this. I just Googled restaurants near us, and I found an Irish pub that had good food. It had a burger, and I was like,
done.
Sold. Get me to this Irish pub. It just so happened to be located in the most beautiful. I'm gonna get married there one day. Some chateau. If you know what I'm talking about, from Atlanta, it's North Atlanta. I wish I could figure it out, but it was a. You pull in. I was like, where am I? Massive, beautiful building with these like dripping lights coming down from these huge oak trees.
Wow!
And I was like, what? Where am I taking us?
Right.
Wow! So, right off the highway too, and a vineyard. Yeah, a vineyard.
A random.
Wow. Yeah, but I was like, I'm pretty. Buddy's like
Chateau Elon.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you have to look it up.
Okay.
Beautiful. So I'm like, where? Buddy's like, I thought we were going to an Irish pub. And I was like, dude, me too. Where are we? Let's stop here. Like, okay, So we're like going through here, and it's gorgeous. Well, I'm following my little map around. All these people are dressed in like fancy. I was like, are we gonna wedding crash?
That would be so fun.
Let's wedding crash. But anyway, it just so happened that the Irish pub was a part of this like little.
How neat.
Whatever this place is, you have to look it up. Gorgeous. So we get out and we go eat there. Awesome food. Had a shepherd's pie. So good. Might have had a beer. I deserved it after Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Kim calls us as we're leaving. She's like, why are you at a vineyard?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, you stalked her? I was like, we are not at a vineyard. We are going to North Carolina to deliver. Like, I just felt like she caught me in this weird, like, yeah, like, I thought you're at a vineyard and you're supposed to be, like, helping these people.
How funny.
Yeah, but I was like, I promise you, we were at this Irish pub for dinner and we're getting right back on the road right now. And it was just funny because she happened to pull up our location that we were at a vineyard, but you have to look it up.
That's funny because I watched her location a lot. I actually took screenshots, which I can't look at now because they're on my phone. Mm-hmm. And there was one point in time where I was like, I should make a post to show your progress because I had people praying for you and thinking of you and all these things. And Lester goes, no, because if that's where they sleep, people are going to show up at their RV to like say hello and stuff. And I was like, okay. And then I would like watch to see if you were moving, and then you didn't move anymore. I'm like, dang it, okay. Yeah. I'll wait. And then the next day it was too late, and I was like, oh, forget it, because y'all had made a post by that point in time saying that you were on your way.
Your post was so sweet, though. I thank you so much for that post. It was really nice.
It was really sad because that was the only picture I had of you two together since last prom. Yeah, I have a ton of pictures of us together. But I have no Steph and Buddy pictures together other than prom pictures. So I've now made it my mission of like, number one, we have to do more things, double date stuff, moving forward to be able to have pictures. And number two, I'm going to have to get you in normal clothes because people just think that you dress up like that all the time now on our page.
Well, that's funny. Yeah, we'll need to do that. But I do appreciate your post. It was super sweet.
Oh, thank you.
My dad, we fought. So my mom's side, we have Life 360.
Okay.
Well, my dad was stalking me, but he was accidentally hitting buttons when he was looking me up. So I knew that he was like, he was like saying "What's up," but it was like one of those pre-text things, which my dad would never say "What's up." It said "What's up" with like a hand, and it would like pop up on my Life 360, and I was like, "Oh, my dad's looking at my location."
Oh,
It was really cute.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I knew that he was accidentally fat fingering his Life 360 stalker status of me.
That's perfect.
Yeah. But I wanted to share my location with you guys so that you knew where we were.
Yeah, I was.
you know.
Well, I mean, I was all over you about like driving safe and
Yeah.
are you sure you need to go by yourself? I was playing mom a little bit, not meaning to be your mom, but like I was just worried about y'all. Like this was a really big
It was an
journey.
intense trip, yeah, to go to a literal war zone.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. So you stayed in South Carolina, had the most amazing little side trip that you didn't plan on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you slept, I'm guessing, in the RV again.
Yes, we slept in the RV at a rest stop. Yeah, that wasn't.
But not a planned.
Yeah. We stopped at a rest stop. Oh no, well, it wasn't initially planned, but we found a rest stop that was not overbooked with trucks. So we didn't have to stay at a gas station.
That's step up.
Yeah, it is a step up. Step down, but a step up, right? We're just in the middle. It was good. Next morning we woke up and we headed straight to our first drop-off location, which was the Morganton First Church of God.
Okay.
I hope I say that right.
I think I saw your video of that place.
Yes, that's where we unloaded.
Yeah.
And that was a true miracle.
I don't know why, but like I cried through your whole video. I'm gonna cry again. I cried through your whole video, and I can't imagine what it felt like to be there in person, because it was overwhelming to watch, let alone to be what y'all did. Like I just can't imagine.
Well, we could not have done it alone. Like you guys donated tremendously, your time, your money. Our followers on Facebook and YouTube, they all pitched in with prayers, and watching our videos helped us get there, and donating to our cause and buying the t-shirts and pitching in on our Amazon wish list, which, can I show you something really quick?
Yeah.
The Amazon wish list?
Yeah.
Let me just show you this.
When I got here to help Steph inventory everything, it was ceiling to floor inside here and out in the barn, and y'all just did an incredible, oh my gosh.
I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Maybe you can help me with this. This was the Amazon tags that came in every box. I saved them.
Aww.
Your gift from Kathy Jordan. Like everybody who bought something, I saved them.
Aww.
Thank you for giving us this chance to help, knowing that it's going to where it's really needed, from Teresa. I saved them all because I truly, it's just the
I
amount.
think you should make Christmas garland out of it for a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really neat thing.
That would be cool. I was thinking of doing some sort of I want to almost Mod Podge them on something.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I don't know, but I saved them because I want to do something, because I'm just so forever grateful for everyone.
That was awesome.
That got us there, truly. So we got there, and we weren't so there was a little bit of a miscommunication, because we had the dog and cat food stacked towards the cab, because that was supposed to be our second stop.
Yeah.
But our contact for the animal shelter never got back to my friend about what they needed, where were we supposed to go. There was just a miscommunication, but I truly and honestly feel like it was for a reason, because when we got there and we were unloading everything, they were like, "Oh my gosh, is that dog and cat food for us?" And we were like, well. And I looked at my friend, and she was like, "I mean, might as well, because they haven't returned my call." And they were like, "Well, we just ran out yesterday." And that was just really, she was like, "Yeah, not a lot of people think about pets at this time." And she's like, "We just ran out of our dog and cat food yesterday." And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, then please, take it. If people need it here, then please take it. Which, I mean,
I know, I'm the same. I'm same way.
I have chills right now because of the tiniest, the way it all fell into place. And she said, if you watch the video, you'll hear what she says on the video, but she said, "We were not brave enough to ask for tools, and you brought tools." Because, and I don't know why she used the word brave, but I guess what she meant was we really just wanted the essentials to get people through the winter. And so they were trying to ask for these certain things, but we brought those things plus more. And that was just something. We weren't supposed to have help unloading the truck. There wasn't supposed to be anyone there. But when we pulled up, another youth group from another church was there to help us unload that truck. It was just supposed to be me, Buddy, my friend, and the lady at the church. The 4 of us. But we didn't even have to lift a finger because this youth group was there. I know.
It's so wild.
Just so many things that just like, and she said, and I told you too that like I felt this like pull to go and I didn't know why. But she told me when we were there, she said, I feel like God was whispering in your ear our need and you showed up. And it was just like that too was just such like I don't know. It was just I truly haven't processed everything yet.
I bet not.
I haven't had a chance to really like come down over the sights and the smells and the interactions and the friends and the
Well, I just think like I don't like to like bash things and talk about the things that aren't going good. I just look at this and like you saw real people.
oh yeah.
And real people are the ones that are making differences, just like you, just like the people here that supported you going. I just think like there's so much more to do there, and
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like to see it in real life, but to just see it from your videos and seeing it from other videos online, like it's a horrible thing that's going to take so much time. And I think the greatest thing that we can do is to not stop talking about it.
Absolutely. And you know, someone said something to me today, which is so true, that her husband, who's been there since day one, he's been apart from his wife for 4 weeks. He's on contract to help get the water going there. And he said, if you were to go there right now today, you would have thought there would have been no progress made. Because the amount of devastation, you go there and when you're there with fresh eyes, you're like, what has been done? Because it's still so bad. And so much has been done, but it's like, it just goes to show the widespread destruction and how much is left to do, because it just looks like a bomb went off and it's just awful. But I will say, the people helping people is so encouraging.
Yeah.
So encouraging. And I was fully transparent on our video about what I saw with, well, what I saw and the lack of what I saw. What I saw was where we were at, people like you and I setting up shop and taking care of people.
Yeah.
We did pass a couple Red Cross vans, so I know that they're there.
They pulled out today.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I got that. I mean, today.
Yeah.
Saw that.
Yeah.
So I knew they were there when we were there.
Yeah.
But the donation setups and the schools that were taken over and the churches that were taken over were all civilian people led. That's all we saw, and that's all we participated in. Not to discount FEMA and not to discount these other organizations, but though we did not see them setting up in these smaller, hard hit areas.
Yeah.
Personally. Now, I know that the devastation was massive across so many states. So I get that they only have so many resources and can only be in so many places at once. But I just wanted to be fully transparent where we were at and what we saw.
Yeah.
And it was people like you and I there.
Just real people.
Yeah. And the third stop that we were at, none of them were North Carolina natives. They were all from New York and Missouri and
That's amazing though. Isn't that amazing?
Louisiana and Florida and all these surrounding states were the people that were there running this little, so that the other people in North Carolina could like try to live.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just saw so many cool things that really gave me hope.
I have a lady I work with, her husband, they live in West Virginia. Her husband is a miner, and the mining company shut down to take all their equipment to go down and rebuild the road between, oh my gosh, Bat Cave and somewhere else.
Castle Rock?
Yes. It's its own company, its own equipment, its own men.
I have a story about that. So today, a video came out that those men the government said it was going to take 6 to 9 months to rebuild that road, and they got it done with, like, it's a bare dirt road, but they got it done in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
A government official came in and stopped them and said, when the river washes out, that land is now part of the landowners. It becomes landowners. And there was a landowner who complained that they were trespassing on their property. And he said, no, sir, everyone that I've come in contact to has cried. I watched this video of him recording this man saying, everyone on this road that I've come in contact to has begged us to fix this road so that we can get to our properties.
Yeah.
He was like, and the guy said, I want to face my accuser.
Yeah.
Show me who's complaining because I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you're not being arrested and you're not going to court, so that's not a thing. But shut them down for rebuilding that road. And he's like, no, you're just trying to block us. The government's trying to block us from helping these people.
That's so sad.
With red tape. And it's just, I mean, and I don't mean to like spread the gossip or whatever, but I saw the video of the guy recording the other man stopping that crew from fixing that road.
But they did it.
They did it. Yeah, they did it.
It's powerful to me. And I think about the small things that impacted here with the flood this year and the things that are still not fixed. And we had nowhere near the devastation that Helene caused.
Right.
And I just think about all of the processes and red tape and all the things that are going on here. The bridge to get between Plum Grove and Longhorn Lesters is not existent and has been closed since the flood happened and will not be open again until 2030. And we have an extra 30-minute drive, which is no big deal, but I can't imagine that for those people's homes because there's no other place, no other path. So to think about, they have to get bids and approval, and then those contractors, like all of the like business things that happen through that they do because of their processes. And I work for a big organization and in hospitals, and everybody has processes and policies and things that can get in the way of doing because we're so focused on the processes. We're so focused on the things that I just find it so powerful that real people and companies with equipment found it in their hearts to literally go do and said, I'll take the risks. Let somebody, stop me and do those things. And it's just so powerful. And I told you from the beginning, like I had this also urge to help, to be a part of, but I just didn't know how. And I'm so proud of you for doing everything you did. And like, just love that you all took the initiative and went. And you also said that you set out to, put things in the RV, that it was never meant to be like as crazy big as it got. And
I remember I was texting her and Bree. This is our private little side chat. And I was like, what did I say? I said, have you ever done something, thought it was a good idea, and then been like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like, and I sent them this picture that I never posted, but it's my barn opening outside from wall to wall, the Amazon truck just buddy's height full of boxes. And I was like, what have I done, guys? I didn't expect this. And we just like 1 foot, I was like, all right, well, we're not putting in the RV. We're going to do a pull behind trailer. Maybe I'll take the 4Runner and I'll just pull a trailer. It outgrew the trailer. And it was just like, all right, well, let's just overcome and adapt. We're going to go to plan C and we're going to get a moving truck, and it was just like amazing the way that this thing just kind of snowballed in the most amazing way.
Yeah.
And the cash donations that we were able to hand over, that they were able to buy mattresses for this lady who was living in a shed.
Oh.
Her house burned down during the hurricane and she was living in a shed, and they were able to get her a mattress. And it was just like, there's so many stories. And one person said, Steph, tell the story about the food. And I'll tell the story about the food. And I think what she means is the fishes and loaves story that I referenced. And it was just that the first night the town lost power, the church had power from, I guess, a backup generator. But the pastor's daughter said, okay, let's empty our own personal fridges, her and another lady, and we'll try to cook for a few families. It was 3 families that they were going to try to cook for. And they had a turkey and 3 pork butts. And instead of cooking for those 3 families, they cooked for 500 people.
Oh my God. I have goosebumps now.
And then the next day it was 800 people. And the day after that, it was 1,000 people. And it was just like the food showed up and the people showed up to cook. And it was just like, it was the loaves and fishes story from the Bible that like Jesus came and he made the fishes and the loaves multiplied to feed the people. And those types of things that just like, that God has a hand in that, that miracles happen in those times. And you have to look at that. You have to look towards those things when you're surrounded by devastation.
Yeah.
Another thing that I was struggling really hard with my video, which is pretty raw. It was a raw video. And I look back and I cringe at that video because I say the word like a million times.
Yeah, but it's overwhelmed. Like
I was so like overwhelmed. But in the moment when we were driving home and I was recording, it made me upset to see the beauty in nature.
Yeah.
And that there was so much devastation. And you even commented about it, and that, you wish you could pause time and just let life catch up and that we could all enjoy the beauty, together. But it was making me a little mad that it was so beautiful out there, and yet there was mud caked on 100-foot tall sign to go to Chimney Rock.
Yeah.
The mud line, and I'm like, but the trees are beautiful, but there's mud on this highway sign. How is that possible? And my mind still like has not yet been able to process that, and the people that are still missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like, it's just so much to unpack, really, truly.
Yeah. And I think the things that I've seen from both you and Buddy and other people is that you said it yourself. It was hard to leave. Like it was hard to step out of. And a lot of people I think are in that same boat. And then also what you said of not being able to process it all or actually allow yourself to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of go through what I understand is like the stages of grief even.
Yeah.
And like where you're mad and where you go through the full emotional roller coaster because it's so much and it's so like impactful yet has so many powerful things tucked inside of it as well with what regular people are doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was. And that was one thing that I did mention, and it's true. Like, I thought it was going to be hard to get there, and I thought the hard part would be over when I got there, and I felt like I would have this sense of relief that like, okay, I did it. I did everyone I wanted to show everyone like, look what you did, we did it. And I would be like, yay. And I wasn't, because I was like, that's not the hard part. The hard part's not over. The hard part was like, yeah, we unpacked, yeah, we unloaded, but now we have to leave these people.
Yeah.
And we did a good thing. And that's what I have to tell myself. We did a good thing, but it's like a drop of water in an ocean.
Yeah.
Of what is truly needed. And I hate to look at it in that lens because it can become really overwhelming and discouraging. So, you know how you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I think we took a good bite of the elephant, but there's so much of that elephant left.
Yeah.
And so, and like you said, we just want to keep this like a fresh top of mind because 6 months from now,
they're still going to be
in it.
Yeah.
And, so anyway,
So would you go back?
Oh, tomorrow.
I know. I actually was thinking about that. I was like, I still feel the need to go. Lester made a joke. He was like, the last time you had a need to go, you ended up in Houston after Harvey, and this is where you were, which is
so true.
Yeah. He's like, you're on go. But no,
you're gonna be like, well, I found a new Lester.
Yeah.
Bye, Lester.
I don't, I want to go, but I want to do something that's impactful as well. And I feel like right now it's still fresh for people, and maybe it's a time. Maybe it's a time around the holidays, or maybe it's a time around then to where other people are not so invested in it. But I would love to go back. I would love to go. And if you would go, I promise we don't have to take a box truck, but
I'll promise I'll drive you, not in Atlanta, but I'll drive you.
Yeah, I will navigate. Yeah, I will navigate. You drive.
We went around Atlanta on the way home. Yeah.
But I think that like when I think of all the things, it's really hard, it's really hard to like plan for joyful things, knowing that that is what so much of our country is going through. And I can't think of a better way to like spend spring break or whatever the case is like, I think, you know, what I even told Xander and Kendra of like, I know that we normally go on an annual vacation every year, but I think that we would do good to go volunteer for a week type of thing. So they're on board, and I think that that would be a really powerful thing. I don't know who's going to watch the animals.
Speaking of vacation, so a couple people we talked to up there, the Smoky Mountains and Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, a lot of people live off of that tourism, and it's way down.
Yeah.
And so they want, from what I've heard, they want people to still come and vacation.
They do, because that's how they make their money. And
but at a caveat of like, bear with us, because some of us who got here in 20 minutes have an hour and 40-minute drive now to get to those like tour destinations to work.
Yeah.
But they do still need the tourism. They do for the places that are up and running. What they don't need is people to come and like go to the devastated areas just to record.
Right.
And
no.
And,
exactly. Which I have no interest in doing, but I do think, I mean, I follow a few channels that lost farms and fences and barns and all the things. And while I cannot build a house or a beautiful interior barn like Steph and Buddy did here, I can hang some fence post and some cattle panel and run some barbed wire. I have contributed to the Lester fencing projects quite a bit. But I do think that that is where we would like to spend our vacation, is volunteering to help somebody bring their life back to normal.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would totally be on board with doing that. I think a lot of people are having to wait until it warms up in the summer to do that.
Yeah, it does get really cold.
Yeah, it's cold there now. We left during, it was like 40s at night. So, I mean, just where we were at, not even up in the mountains, but yeah, for sure. We want to do that. And it's going to be a long, that's my fear too, is that like just today, the Red Cross pulled out.
Yeah.
And over time, over those next few weeks, people are going to start to pull back and pull out, and, the people will take care of the people, but it's important that we make plans to go back.
Yeah.
And to continue that help. I know the Morganton First Church of God was saying they do have a Amazon wish list, and it is pinned on my Facebook post, but they have 50 children spoken for, but they have the numbers in the hundreds of children for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, if you wanted to adopt a family, or, I know we will be adopting a family for Christmas, but they do have the need, there's several ways that people can, just adopt a kid for Christmas, or, like the angel in the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, there's ways that we can all help before we get there hands-on or whatever. But that's what we'll be doing, and just keeping an eye out for that. Now, Morganton, I think a lot of people too were hesitant about like, well, what about Black Mountain? And what about Swannanoa? And what about, Burnsville? And what about all the Asheville? The cool thing about the Morganton Church was that it was a hub that had
like distribution.
They had people going out to all those places. Like, it was a Morganton thing, but like they had contacts in Black Mountain and contacts everywhere. So it was good to know that, like, yes, it was going to the Morganton people because the Morganton people were affected, but also they were making sure that it was being dispersed to whoever needed it around them.
I love that.
Yeah.
What a powerful thing, though, and what a just selfless thing they all did. I'm so proud.
I don't know how to accept that. Like, when I hear you, but like I told you before, it was just this like pull.
Yeah.
And I don't feel it as like, oh, I don't know. Like, I have a hard time with the whole, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't the goal, and it's still, and that's what I wanted to talk to you before, was like, I had a goal in mind, and I thought that it was going to be, oh, you did it, but it's surprise, like, your mission's not over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have that like feeling like there's something more that is out there that we're going to be doing. So I don't know what my future holds for me.
You've always, like, something about Steph that you may not know is like Steph loves the mountains.
Oh my gosh.
And I knew that about you, but I also know that when this happened, these are different than probably the mountains that you knew of on the other end.
Yeah.
And the people in this part of the country are incredible. Not that there aren't incredible people everywhere, but for me, that part of the country holds just like really special people, like self-sufficient, take care of community people.
Right.
It's a very different culture
It
in that part of
is.
the country.
Yeah. And something that I haven't told many people, I think maybe just I don't even know how many, probably just Buddy. But even within the Morrows, like they're very avid churchgoers. I personally am a Christian. I was raised in a non-denominational Baptist-ish background, but we don't go to church the way that the Hill goes to church.
Yeah.
Like Daniel and Kim and G, they all go to church very religiously every Sunday. I don't. And I know that is not like, I don't know, people, I know that they wish that we did. And we do have a home church that we will go to sometimes. But I've always told Buddy that when I'm out, especially in the mountains or when we're out, like that's my church.
Yeah.
That's where I find God. That's where I connect with.
Yeah.
When I'm in my garden or when I'm like out in the back by the river or when I'm in nature or when I'm getting my hands dirty, that's my opportunity to, but it's the mountains that like, that's my church. And I don't know if that's why like I felt that pull or that call. I don't know. But truly and honestly, like I think people can find church wherever they find
Absolutely.
peace.
Yeah.
And I don't know that organized church is for everyone, but I think, you know, I'm not a judgmental type. Like
No.
you do you. If you don't, you know, I'll love you through whatever you want to, you know, do or whatever you believe. Cool. You know, like that's fine. You want a hot box in Atlanta? Well, look, you hot box in Atlanta. But you know, it's just that's me personally, and I'm not going to judge anyone for their belief.
Same for me though. Exactly. And you know that about me. Like,
Yeah.
do your thing.
Yeah.
I love you for you, and
Sure. Yeah.
I have no judgment whatsoever about anything. I
Yeah.
was raised Catholic, went to church and religion every day from the age of 5
No
until
way.
17.
I didn't know that.
Yes, every day.
Did you do the communion thing, or did you have that like white?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
All of the sacraments. Well, not all, because some of them you have to die for. But you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So
thank God I'm here.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't have to go through that one. But I also I'm not a churchgoer anymore because I found that I find God in other places.
Mm-hmm.
I find God in a horse pasture, in a horse barn. I find God staring at the ocean. I find, you know, I find God in really strange places. Sometimes in an airplane, 30,000 feet above the air, looking at the sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
But I found more of a connection in that space than I did going to church. And I feel like I did a lifetime of church in through all of those years.
Mm-hmm.
If you were raised Catholic and went to Catholic school and church and religion every single day, you also, more power to you, but you know what I'm talking about. Like that was it every day.
Right.
So I'm in the same boat as you are. Like, but I understand the calling and the connection and the mental space that is for you. And when this happened and when we were talking about like, we were actually Goodwill. We were at Goodwill for prom dress shopping. And I'm like, are you okay? And you're like, no.
Yeah.
And
you were worried about me.
I was worried about you. I actually called afterwards after I'm like, all right, tell me what's going on. Like, tell me what's up. Like, I can feel it. I can sense it.
Read it on my face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was this calling that Steph had to go and to do something. And she's like, it's just really unsettling and everything is wrong. And
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, what time is it? Are we running? I don't know how.
It's 8:00. It's fine. I don't have a curfew.
Are we good? Okay. Yeah, and I don't mean to get harp on this religion thing, but I feel like if you are somewhat religious or like believe or whatever, you know that like there's the closer you get to something good, I feel like the more obstacles get put in your way to stop you.
Yes.
And those happened.
Clearly.
big time.
Yeah.
Like there was some things that were going on in my personal life and here at home, things that no one know about that like I was like, I am being someone doesn't want me to go.
It's true.
You know? And and you know, I went anyway and we pushed through that and I had a clarity driving home that, you know, like I told you, that, you know, I foresee that this was not going to be the end of that.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like it was almost like a conquering thing. Like nothing's going to stop humanity from helping humans.
No.
Like try your best.
Yeah.
You know, but like we're going to pull through, we're going to help each other and we're going to make it at the end of the day. And I think that is one message that I really needed to receive, is that seeing other people there from all walks of life and from all states and all situations. And my favorite lady was Graham's. You know, she came, 65-year-old lady, came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, planned to stay a few days and was like, you know what? I'm going to be here because I know that when people are in it and they're just in it, they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But I can come here and I can be like, I can see the forest through the trees and I'm going to tell you, you need to be here and you need to be doing this. And that's what people need. People need to, you know, come together and pick up where people are just lost.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had just such a sense of peace and appreciation and clarity and emotion. And just this is like talking to you right now with you guys is really helping me like process and, you know, move through it truly, because it was a whirlwind.
Have you had your ugly cry in the tub yet?
No.
Yeah, that's gotta happen.
I know.
That's gotta happen. I don't like, again, this is a minor thing, but when Imelda happened here, I felt like we powered through so much and like held it together. We even found we were laughing with each other and like all was, you know, like it was fine.
Yeah.
That night, after everything, the water subsided and I finally got a chance to sit in the bathtub, I ugly cried, like choked on my own snot, ugly cried.
Yeah.
But that was like my final, like,
Yeah.
take it all in. So when you have time.
I will. Yeah, because yesterday we got home, yesterday afternoon, and we went pretty much straight to cooking with Dan and Lou, and they fed me so good.
Oh, what did they have?
Chili.
Oh, chili's my most favorite food on this earth.
No, they had chili and cornbread. And I even texted Dan today. I was like, did you finish your video? Did you already edit your video? Because I have to say something. Because I forgot. Like, I was just so tired.
Yeah.
They could probably see how tired I was. I drove. So I sacrificed and I drove the entire way from Mississippi home.
Oh my gosh.
So that Buddy could sleep because he has work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today. So I knew that like I'm gonna power through. I'm gonna drive the entire way so he can rest. When I got to Dan and Lou's, I'm pretty sure I was like zombie. So anyway, I texted Dan earlier. I was like, "Can I add to your video, or did you already do it?" He's like, "I've already finished it." I was like, "Well, I just wanted to tell you, like, thank you for waiting because I truly needed that meal. Like,
Yeah.
I truly needed that comforting meal and the chili, and it was just like exactly what I needed, and it was so good. And thank you." And he was like, "Oh well, you're welcome." I'm like, "Thank you," you know. But
poor Dan doesn't know how to take all that.
I know, you know. But yeah, even like coming home yesterday and going straight to Dan Lou's and eating a good meal and then coming home, and I fell asleep I think at like 8:30, and then I woke up and then from my kids' ears were bleeding. So honestly, I haven't had time.
Let me help you out here with this.
I haven't had time to cry about my kids' ears bleeding. Our pets' heads are falling
I was
off.
just gonna say the same thing. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Are you really?
Yes, swear.
So glad that you know that reference.
Of course I do.
I hope everyone here knows
Right?
the reference. Dumb
That
and
is
Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, which God, I've probably watched 1,000 times.
Same.
But
The parrot, Pete.
yes, Pete the parrot. Our pets' heads are
Our
falling.
pets' heads are falling off. You gave our parrot to a blind guy. The parrot's head was duct taped on. Oh my!
Go to Aspen, California.
I gotta watch that movie now.
We do. We must have a movie night as well.
Oh gosh,
It's
I
good
needed
stuff.
that laugh. Anyway, I have not had a good cry yet. I need to. I need to.
But it's coming when you allow yourself the time to process it all.
Yeah.
Like you're a woman and a mom, so you're gonna hold it all together until the silence hits you enough. It won't be a breakdown like publicly. It'll be a solo like shower bath cry.
Yeah.
But you need it. That will sort of like circumvent everything and and allow you to really think through all of what you've been through, because that's a lot. That's a really big hard toll on your heart and on your soul, especially when the mountains truly do call you and you see those people and
Yeah.
just powerful.
Mm-hmm. We saw a lot of horse trailers parked on the side of the road, which I was curious about. I didn't know if maybe those horse trailers had people trying to get up the mountains to people, or if they were just finding trails to like horseback ride on. Didn't know. But we did see that. I will say that if you donate clothes, because I was sent to the clothing donation area of our volunteer time. I would just suggest going through the pockets and, making sure that you don't send stuff that you didn't mean to, or don't send stuff that have rips and stains and, skid marks. And I think people tend to just like
toss it all in the bag and be like,
toss
oh, let's give it here.
And, and it takes a lot of work to go through people's, what they mean well. They mean well. Yeah. But it's,
but be selective. Make sure that it's things you're donating that are useful.
I hate to like say that, because any donation's good, but sometimes, okay, I'm just gonna be real with y'all because we're on a live and I've had a glass.
It's Timeout Tuesday, and this is the real Stephanie Denman.
Yeah. So I uncovered some needles.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, needles. So I'm glad that I discovered them and not a child.
Yeah.
But they were in a box, and so there was needles in the box, and I don't know that the people who donated knew that there were needles in the box. But just be careful of what you're sending, because people got to sort through that stuff, and it's and same like with purses and stuff. Like there's elderly people who have money stashed away.
Yeah.
And if you're elderly, if you know that someone in your life is going to donate some stuff and they may not have all of their faculties, just double check what they're giving away. Not even in this situation, because my own grandparents, I've had to do that with. Wow. I've discovered some crazy, things with my own late grandmother. So just there's some things that I've discovered through this trip that I didn't even think of beforehand.
I would agree.
Yeah. And then maybe if you are going to donate the seasonal, like maybe not a bathing suit right now, yeah. And I like, again, like I hate to say, like do and don't do, like.
Yeah. But I think it's about being thoughtful, and I think that your experience has allowed you to be able to say firsthand what you saw be beneficial and what you saw be maybe not timely. And again, a donation is a donation, and I know it's all appreciated, but in the space that we're all in, and I know that there's like people have giving hearts and want to do those things, but because we are in homes with electricity and safe and all the other things, we do have time to be a little bit more thoughtful than those that are out there.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say something else about the donations. Oh, diapers. Large size diapers are in high demand.
I bet.
Yeah, because a lot of times people just think of little babies. Yeah. But there's like special needs kids that are adults that are needing large diapers, and they're in small supply.
I bet. I bet. It's just, it's such a widespread thing that I think that it's so overwhelming to know who and what you all did with knowing someone out there was so helpful in how, because I know a lot of folks just loaded up trailers and just went and had no idea where to go or what to do and that type of thing. So your intention of being intentional about not only knowing what to ask for and what to need and what to bring out there, but also the strategy that Steph had about how they were going to load the truck and based on their drops and all of the things that went behind that was just really well thought out.
But honestly, I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, you did great.
I
got here and she's like, I want you to take this pen and paper and I want you to go count everything and put it on there and then bring it back to me. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Got it. I got it. But then I got sidetracked with a baby and 2 other kids, and then I wasn't very helpful at all. I only did like 5 things, and then here I was.
But listen, That's amazing too. Like today, Bree was over there helping Dan and Kim put up large boards for Kim's new thing, and the kids were running around. And I was like, come to me. Like,
Yeah.
let's go home. You
Yeah.
know, like that, those things are like so helpful to people who are trying to work. But no, you guys coming to help inventory, we got it done I was so blessed in so many ways. Like having you guys come and do inventory saved me so much time, and I probably would have sat down and cried in the midst of 50 pairs of socks. Like I didn't do any of that. I didn't have one breakdown, not one, because I was
Not yet. Not yet.
not yet, and I may not. Like
I'm just teasing.
these things are just so helpful. Like you being here tonight and letting me like talk through it and process it, and I think it really truly helps me to like mentally be, not unstable.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe I am unstable, but like
Yeah, we all are.
one tick on the okay
Yeah,
side.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm teetering there, but
Well,
good.
thank you for agreeing to do this tonight. It was really important to me because I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to sit down together, but I also think that people needed to hear the true download, the true brain dump, because
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sunday night y'all went live, but you were still in it and hadn't been home to really think through everything
Mhm.
yet. Plus, Caden's ears weren't bleeding yet, or at least we didn't know about it. So
Yeah.
we had a lot to talk about, and I'm really grateful that you took the time tonight for letting me bring over
Dude,
car cake. Car cake got upgraded. And now I don't know how we ever.
we're never going back.
Yeah.
Let's do barn cake.
Okay, barn cake it is from now on. Plus, why does no one have birthdays this time of year? Why is everybody's birthday from like January to July and we just slam it all in?
So Coda just had a birthday, but
that's not car cake worthy.
I know, yeah.
Sorry.
I know, not yet.
No, not yet.
So we do have tons of birthdays, but not like car cake birthdays yet.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That we like pack it all in, and it has been since Lissa's birthday in July. Since we did car cake. Too long. So now we do barn cake, and we've upgraded.
Yeah.
All right, well, one more cheers to Timeout Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I kind of like.
No, I wanted to talk about this.
Do you have anything you want to talk about real quick? No.
This is it. I wanted people to hear all the things, and I wanted. Oh, I already asked you if you would go back, but tell me the worst thing about the trip and the best thing about the trip, and then we'll end it.
Okay.
I'm making her think now.
No, I know the worst thing. The worst thing was probably driving by Batcave Road. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very hard hit area.
That was so it. I'm still mind blown by it. The houses that were pushed up against the bridge that we were driving over. That was someone lived there, and we were driving by it. Like that was probably one of the worst things. It was just not that one house, but multiple houses in a sand field that was not supposed to be there.
Wow.
That was hard to see. And then the school on the other side that had like river mud forever tall. That was hard. The best thing, gosh, that's going to be hard. It's just got to be lumped into all the tiny miracles.
Yeah.
Which were huge miracles, but there were so many that they were like, you just have to compartmentalize them. But like the miracles in general that I witnessed truly. And everyone on social media being one of them. Like you guys I count as a miracle. And I say this because like I never thought just simple old me would have like a platform and an opportunity to gather everyone together who could help me get there.
Yeah.
That is a miracle in itself, because I'm truly just a somebody that like reached out to my online friends and family who said, yes, we support you and we think you're doing a good thing and we want to help in whatever way we can, whether it's prayers, just watching the video, donating, and getting us there. Like that in itself is a miracle. And so totally, truly is probably the best thing.
I love it.
Yeah. Because I would not be able to go had it not been for this.
Well, I'm glad that you went, and I'm glad that you answered the calling to go.
Oh yeah. I want to go back tomorrow.
I'm going with you.
Okay.
Y'all, thanks for joining us on Timeout Tuesday, for giving us the greatest gift of all, which is your time. We love you, and please check out the videos on the Denman Homestead because they're powerful, and prepare to cry. That's all I'm going to say.
And they also have the links if you want to help directly to those areas that we were there.
All right. Anything else?
No.
We love y'all so much. How do I turn this off, Steph?
I think it says end.
Good night, y'all.
Bye. You got it?
No?
I think you
No?
there it is.
There it is.
There we go. Oh, it was a good life.